Now let's go.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Isaiah, as always, and today we are going to be predicting Week 9 of the 2021-2022 NFL season. I didn't make a video before Thursday night football, but I did put a community post predicting the Eagles to win that game. Alright, let's get into it. We'll start with the Colts and Patriots. Well, both these teams are, one of these teams are coming off a win against a divisional rival. The other team's coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Commanders. And having a quarterback debuting in what I think was his first ever game, Sam Ehlinger. Bill Belichick tends to be really good against these young quarterbacks, but also Mac Jones isn't very good. Even though they won last week, Mac Jones is holding this team back from its full potential, but I am going to take the Patriots in a sloppy 17-13 game. Also, Jonathan Taylor won't be playing in this game. Up next, we got the Bills and the Jets. This is going to be a very good game. The Jets have had a really good defense, but everything about this team is relatively good except for the receiving core and that quarterback. Zach Wilson is holding this team back from its absolute potential. And for that reason, I think Josh Allen is going to escape New York by a single point, 24-23. Either off a game-winning field goal or a game-winning two-point attempt or a failed two-point. I don't know. But they are going to escape New York. And New York is going to drop to 5-4 after a heartbreaking loss at home against Buffalo. Up next, we got Jacksonville and Vegas. Jacksonville, I don't want to write them off as a bad team. They just cannot close out games. Trevor Lawrence is not clutch. The Raiders might single-handedly be the most disappointing team this season. They have gotten so much worse. And for all those reasons, I'm going to take Jacksonville to win not 213, take Jacksonville to win 23-16. I don't know. Not really any good explanation behind this. Just think Jacksonville's going to win. Up next, we got probably the game of the week. We got Tennessee versus the Kansas City Chiefs. These two teams are 5-2. Tennessee's actually on a 5-game winning streak, holding second place in the AFC right now. But Tannehill's status is questionable. Without Tannehill, this is going to be a rough game because Malik Willis is not great. He's a developing project quarterback, so we're going to have to give him time. And if you look at Kansas City, it's still the same team with Mahomes. Same team that is, I think, coming off a win. Same team coming off a blowout win against a very good San Francisco 49ers team. For all those reasons, this is if Tannehill plays. I think it's going to be a close game, 24-20. Chiefs win, but Tennessee has had Kansas City's number the regular season for these past few years. Up next, we got my Miami Dolphins taking on the Bears. The Bears. Miami is coming off a big win, coming back from behind against the Lions, not allowing a second half point after allowing 27 points in the first half. And the Bears, after Justin Fields probably played the game of his career, but their defense almost allowing 50 points against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Miami's and Dallas's offense are on pretty similar levels. I just think Dallas has a much more established run game, but we have a better receiving core. And for the Bears, they lost Roquan Smith. They don't have Robert Quinn. And it's going to have to take a Brisker, I forgot his first name. It's going to have to take a Brisker masterclass in order to lock up Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Give me the Dolphins by 10 and a 30-20 not 30-30. 30-20 win over the Bears. Up next, we got the Panthers and Bengals. The Panthers coming off a heartbreaking loss after completing a 70-yard Hail Mary to DJ Moore for him to do the heinous action of taking off his helmet. Shame on him. And we're taking the Bengals here, who just got destroyed by their divisional rival at home. And it's really starting to make you question how important is Jamar Chase to this offense. The answer is very important. But I do not think that is going to make it so that the Bengals lose to the Panthers. I think the Bengals win 25-16, not 166. 25-16 over the Panthers. It should be a very, very interesting game, though. What's up next? Another game that could be decent. We got the Falcons taking on the Chargers. The Falcons currently sitting atop of the NFC South at 4-4. That elite division. And then we have the Chargers, who are sitting in second in their division at 4-3, coming off a bye week, coming off the week before losing to a very good Seattle Seahawks team. Can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, this game should be interesting. But I'm gonna give it to the Chargers. Chargers. We'll say 27. We'll say 27-24. The Chargers have been very interesting team this season. Their run defense is still horrible. Don't ask me how. They just only completely reworked that D line and front seven. The secondary is bad. J.C. Jackson was not worth the money, and now he's out for the season. Sante Samuel has not developed into what he should be. Derwin James is still good. I'm not going to discredit him. And that receiving core is injured. We're looking at a game that if Keenan Allen doesn't play, Joshua Palmer is their number one receiver. So expect a lot of Austin Eckler fantasy points if you have him. A lot of PPR points. So yeah, Austin Eckler is about to have a very good fantasy football game. But yeah, I just trust the Chargers a little more than I trust the Falcons. All right, coming up next, we got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints coming off a shutout win against the Vegas Raiders. Very impressive game by that defense. The offense was obviously not the greatest, only putting up 24, but a win's a win. Shutout win's a win. I had to check. And the Ravens are coming off a win over Tampa Bay, who have been another major disappointment this season. I am gonna take the Ravens to win this game, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be closer. I'll give it a 27-20 win. Up next, we got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions. Let me be honest here. I had the Lions winning this game, and then they traded Hawkinson. That's my reasoning behind why I think the Packers now win this game. 24-20. I think Hawkinson is that important to that offense that I think they're going to lose a step. Packers defense is still relatively decent, and they're still trying to crawl back into that playoff race. I think they'll snap their 4-game losing streak and get a much needed win against a divisional rival who they've had great success with in the past. Up next, we got the Washington Commanders taking on the Minnesota Vikings. But unlike their rivals, the Packers, they are gonna beat the Commanders. And there's 33-20. In my opinion, Taylor Heineke has been the better quarterback, but the Vikings are 6-1 heading into this game, and they've looked like a really solid team. I think they've beat teams in basically every way possible. And I don't like Justin Jefferson against that Washington secondary. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Vikings to move to 7-1. Up next, we have another one of the better games this week. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals. This one is going to be interesting, but I like the Cardinals in this game. I think it's a rivalry game. I think the Cardinals are really trying to put themselves back in that playoff race. Seahawks have been on a hot streak, but I don't know. I think the Cardinals win it. And the Cardinals win it in a 26-24 win. I liked how Geno Smith has been playing. He's been playing like an actual MVP candidate this season. And yeah, I like everything about the Seahawks. It's nothing against the Seahawks this game. It's a divisional rivalry game, and I think the Cardinals are gonna take it at home. Then finally, we got the Rams and the Buccaneers. Probably the two biggest disappointments of the season. One of these teams are basically gonna have their season ended right here, right now, and I think that team is going to be the Los Angeles Rams. And a 30-24 overtime win by the Bucs. They are going to put themselves back in first place in that division with every other team in their division losing this week. But in a much needed win, the Bucs have now saved their season. And yeah, those are my predictions for week 9. Make sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.